When OP's wife confesses to him about sleeping at another man's house, they decide to work things out. Unfortunately for OP though, his wife didn't stay away from her affair partner for very long. If you want to know how this story ends, get yourself a coffee and grab a bowl of popcorn so we can get into it.
Me and my wife are both 31, and we got married a year ago after being inseparable for 6 years. Our wedding day was the best day of my life, and the first 10 months of our marriage were beyond what I expected. But then things suddenly changed. About 11 months in, my wife told me she spent 2 nights at another man's house while I was out of town. She was adamant that nothing physical happened, and she was remorseful. She felt awful for coming so close to messing up the most important and sacred thing to her. I felt so betrayed, but I was also thankful for the fact that she came to me about it. Nevertheless, in the immediate aftermath, I had a lack of empathy. It felt like she was mostly upset at herself and not feeling sorry for me, but I chalked that up to how recent and raw it was. I suggested that we go to therapy, and she immediately agreed. She specifically told me that she wanted to fix our marriage more than anything else, and while this was a hard time for me, I felt very confident about us getting past it, given the way it had unfolded. I told her that whatever she has going on with this guy has to end immediately, and she agreed, bringing everything to a close the following day. When this first happened, I found a therapist who I thought would be a really good fit. We were both looking for a therapist, and in the end, this is the one we agreed on. I asked my wife to read more about them, and then to give them a call for a quick screening to make sure she'd be comfortable. Unfortunately, though, she dragged her feet, so we were never able to get an appointment. Fast forward a few months, and we start spending more time apart. I traveled a bit more for work, went on a few guys' trips, and she took a girls' trip. In between all this, she started staying with a mutual friend because she wanted some space. Meanwhile, she was still dragging her feet when it came to us starting therapy. She did start going to therapy on her own, though, and I was very supportive of that. But when I brought up couples therapy again, she said she wasn't ready. There were times in which I was suspicious of her still seeing this guy she supposedly broke things off with, but she'd deny it whenever I asked. I would tell her that I think she's hiding something from me, and she would say that she isn't. Eventually, we did get into couples therapy, and right now we're a few sessions in, but this is when the truth came to light. Yesterday, I found undeniable proof that she was still seeing this other guy, and she was seeing him whenever she told me she was staying with other people. The only reason I was able to learn about this is because she isn't very careful. When I confronted her, I was able to get some answers, and found out that she started things up again with the other guy a few weeks after ending it with him. Since then, they've slept together, and she's fallen in love with him. I'm completely gutted and shaken to my core. We don't have any kids, but we've spent basically our adult lives together, and my relationship with her is synonymous with my current city and friends. The affair happened after I gave her a second chance, with the terms of us going to therapy, and she completely screwed it. She was actively having an affair while we were in therapy. I don't even recognize her anymore, and I'm completely crushed.
Seems to me like OP's partner never intended to be faithful to him, which makes me wonder, how long would she have kept this up? Unless OP wants to continue suffering at the hands of his partner, he's going to have to close the curtains on this relationship. Like a lot of people who get cheated on, their relationship remains forever damaged afterwards, no matter how much they may want to fix things. While it's easier said than done, OP should have ended things with his partner when she confessed to staying with another man. That's not the sort of thing you tend to see in a healthy relationship, and someone who acts in such a way is bound to destroy what they have with that sort of behavior and thinking. Anyway, let's see what kind of conversations are bubbling up in the comments.
If I Were in Your Shoes says, OP, file for an annulment. Contact her family, and your close friends. Let them know that you're seeking an annulment and why you're doing it. If you know the affair partner, name him. Same with social media. Don't protect her ending this marriage for her own selfishness. She shouldn't have said yes and moved on, so let her pick up the pieces now. OP, you're young, so you can find someone new, someone who will be a much better partner. Go no contact with this woman, and if you live in a state that allows for alienation of affection, sue the affair partner too. Signal Wall says, I'm sorry, but you were way too forgiving in the beginning. I don't know that I believe nothing physical happened when she stayed with another guy for 2 days, but what I do know is that she wasn't remorseful. When you're married and secretly spend 2 days in another man's house, that's not coming close to messing up. It is messing up. It's cheating, whether sex happened or not. The upset at herself you saw afterwards was obviously just regret that she told you, because she still wanted to, and in fact did, cheat on you some more.
Whether OP will leave his partner or not remains to be seen, but we can only hope that he makes a decision that doesn't result in him feeling more pain like this in the future. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.